Hello, welcome to the show. This is Soulstar Radio. I'm Jacquelene and I'm writing handles. I want to wish Soulstar Radio, which is also me, but also it's A1R Psychic Radio, is also Soulstar Radio, and I'm wishing happy birthday and thank you to everyone for watching and listening in and basically putting up with me for the last 5 years. Really. So happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday, Soulstar Radio. Happy birthday to us. So blow them out. I think we probably should. So this is actually a orange cake. Can you smell and feel that from here? And I certainly can. I think we both can. And it's got vanilla icing and it's rather pungent and very special. And I'm also joined today by a wonderful guest who I'm going to introduce you to soon. But in the meantime, we're going to blow them out and send happy wishes to everyone. Lots of healing, love and light. And sexiness as well. We're going to get on to that in a minute. Here we go. All right. Now, the middle one took a bit longer, and it was orange. And that's kind of funny because the sacral chakra is orange. And today, quite a wonderful author, a very special lady who wrote this book, and she's KGB, and the book is called The Behind Closed Doors Society. And I'm just going to get into this a little bit. And I really love this book. It's got layer upon layer, and it's kind of better than goulash. I think goulash could give you heartburn, but it's kind of, there's a richness here, and there's definitely sensuality, and we'll keep it kind of G-rated because, it's that kind of show, but we can get into bits of it. And move over 50 Shades of Grey, basically. Here we go. Why do we settle? Is it because of the time that we invest in a relationship, the inconvenience of starting again, the hope that you'll just work it out? There's just a particular point in the book where one of the ladies is really looking at, very suddenly having to move on from a relationship, and this book has intertwining stories that just kind of blow your mind a bit here and just keep you reading. The first night I actually read 210 pages, and there are only, what have we got here? I think it was 279 or something. 272 pages, and it's like, so the second night was like the rest of the book, and let's say that it was warm in the room even though it wasn't warm in the room. It is erotic fiction. I am joined by KGB. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, 5th anniversary. Oh, thank you. And so you started writing at like 6 years of age, it sort of says here.
I certainly did. Not erotic though.
No, just not quite. Oh, look, this toy was doing that fluffy animal, and that just went somewhere else, didn't it? But so, what did you first start writing?
I had a fascination with poetry when I was younger, and I think the fascination for me was trying to get words to rhyme, which doesn't have to be in poetry, but to me that's what I liked about it. So, so I love trying to work out a word that would, rhyme with the previous line, and it just grew from there, basically. I've still got folders of things that I've written from sort of 6, 7 years of age, right through my childhood and through the teenage years. So
yeah.
I always knew I'd write a book. I just never knew what sort of book that I'd write.
Yeah. So this is your first one now?
Definitely my first book, yeah. I did start probably 3 or 4 times I tried to write a different story. I actually thought that my first book would be an autobiography. I've got an interesting story to tell. I'm sure most people do. Everyone has lots of hurdles in life, and I just felt like I wanted to tell my particular story and how things affect you as a child really to form who you are as an adult. And then I started writing it, and probably 3 or 4 times over a period of about 15 years. And it just didn't gel, didn't work, it didn't happen. And it was actually my husband who said to me, you really need to be someone for an autobiography to be interesting. You need to have a profile, because other than the people that know you, family and friends, who is going to want to read that? And I actually thought, yeah, he's right. I didn't say that, because you don't say that as a wife. No. But I thought, yeah, he's actually right. And then I just thought, well, what can I write about? And again, It was him. He said, why don't you write out all that stuff you love, Sex and the City and Real Housewives and I love all that sort of stuff and that camaraderie of women and, empowering women and sort of lifting each other up and things like that. So, told him my idea and he said, whatever you put in there, you've got to have sex because sex sells.
Sex certainly does sell. And so now I just might read a little passage out from this this book, still trying to keep it kind of, G-rated. I slid the unmarked envelope full of $100 bills across the table to the charismatic gentleman. Well, Master Jake, it seems you did your job well. Jake took the envelope and looked at the notes inside. I know my art, Carly, he said. Just don't let her fall in love with you, I said. Keep your distance. He nodded as he placed the envelope inside his jacket, blew me a kiss and left the cafe. I had known Jake for quite a long period. I knew what he was capable of. I knew that he was a man for the job. He also was incredibly confident in his capabilities with women. He was right. It was an art. Making women want him, craving, almost overpowering lust, and yet he ensured that he met no other emotional need, keeping that distance, that his prey didn't become attached. Women were naturally emotional creatures and could quite easily mistake that, the physicality of the relationship, that meant they were falling in love. He needed a precise moment to pull away when a woman realised she no longer needed Jake. The want for him would fade, her heart would cool, and Jake would retreat. A true artisan, Jake was one of the best escorts in the business. That's quite riveting writing. And it's like, well, that's a lot of research in there. So it's like, wow, look at that. But it's really interesting. We sort of talk about the dynamics between, like in relationships, between the one person sort of being this person coming in and at times maybe having just the right words or just the right sort of thing, and then women sort of going, oh, that must mean they love me. Do you sort of see that a lot with the women, like with women you've gotten feedback from the writing with?
Yeah, I definitely think that there's always been more of an emotional connection for women in the bedroom. And I think that if you are sort of strong enough to say, actually, I don't need that, it's sort of still taboo even this day. Men are much more physical creatures. I sort of compare them to like a genie bottle, they're just a couple of drugs and ready to go.
Yeah,
G-rated. Whereas women need a little bit more work than that. I think that because the women, the characters are actually very strong women, and I wanted those sort of aspects of it to empower women to say, you know what, it's no longer taboo. We're in 2019, for goodness sakes. If you like sex, then just say you like sex. If you don't like it, then you're doing it wrong, basically.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think that could be it. Have you sort of looked at Tantra at all in some of your work with looking at eroticism, and you're going to be writing more books? Have you sort of looked at that sort of topic at all?
I've just started researching that now for the sequel. I didn't want to have one particular theme in the book, which of course, having 4 women as the characters, there wouldn't be one particular theme anyway. You wouldn't find a group of girlfriends that would like, everything the same in the bedroom, so to speak. So, definitely looking at Tantra, so that I can write about that and experience, have the characters experience that in the next one.
And so it's really interesting because these 4 women all have very different lives, very different views on sex, and sex is such a taboo still today. It's like, what are we doing? It's 2019, girls. It's like if a guy is having a lot of sex, then he's a stud. But if a woman is having, a lot of those sorts of expressions in her life, it's like, oh, you're a bad woman, what sort of thing, that sort of stuff. But this book actually brings it out. It's like even the first page, it's like, whoa, there you go. We're off to a rip-roaring start here. And I don't want to ruin it for readers. So I'm sort of dodging around going too much into this book, but it starts quite off the face. It really does. It's refreshing like a brick in the face, actually. It's sort of right got you there. But it's also, there's the different ways in which women are dealing with their sexuality covered in this book. And so it's sort of showing the reader, hey, look, we're not all the same, we're all different, but that can be celebrated. So it's actually quite special in that regard. So you're writing a follow-up book at the moment?
definitely. The ending of the first one is my absolute favourite. I love it. Writing the sequel, madly at the moment. I obviously know the beginning, and I woke up in the middle of the night and thought of the ending, and I love it. So now I've just got to think of the 100,000 words in between.
Yeah, and it is a lot of work there. I mean, you've layered upon layered the different themes and what's happening with each of the characters. There's a lot of work on the character development in this.
Yeah.
So it's not just mummy porn. And I think the thing with like 50 Shades of Grey that I find kind of disturbing is, if he wasn't a billionaire and he was living in a trailer park, this would be Law and Order SVU.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be entertaining at all. It'd be like, I think we're going to call the police now. Because my understanding, and I have clients from all different walks of life and all different subcultures, and their understanding of the sort of people that might be a little bit like Christian Grey that I have sort of as clients, they're sort of going, look, Jacqueline, that is not how it happens. And I go, because I don't know anything about that stuff, but, I have some clients that really do know about that stuff, and you're like, okay, right, because I actually haven't read it. I've just sort of looked at it, and I've seen it in the cover, and I've gone, ugh. It's just, gasp. I think how many times is gasp repeated? I think I heard someone say it was like, I can't think how many times gasp was written. And are you sort of keeping away from that sort of simplistic language as much as you can?
Yeah, definitely. I really invested a lot in the characters right from the beginning in regards to, profiling them, thinking about their different personalities, but what about their personalities connects them to each other, and why do a couple of them maybe not, sort of clash a little bit. But even right down to, well, how would she portray herself? What would she wear? Because I do even describe, some of their clothing styles, and so that you take really take you into who the characters are. And look, there's definitely going to be a character or two that every woman resonates with. And I think, back, a couple of decades ago when Sex and the City, was around, I think that most women then, even now if you watch the reruns, you do resonate with parts of the different characters. And so I'd like women to talk about it like that, like, oh, I'm a bit like Carly, but probably a bit more reserved, maybe like Leia. Maybe I think a bit more like Carly. But so just to bring it back to the Sex and the City reference, it's like, I'd like to portray myself like Harry, but I actually think like Samantha.
Yeah.
So that sort of thing. But I think I have a real visual, even with their look. I believe that it will become a movie, and I'd love to have it, a big say in, which actors play those parts, because I know no one knows those characters like I do. And I've even researched like some of the actors around the world and just thought, oh yeah, that one would be perfect for her. That would be great for him, and we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I believe that the storyline itself is quite meaty. It really sort of takes you in. And then, of course, the naughty bits are just the icing on the cake.
There's definitely lots of naughty bits for all those mums and dads out there. But and I'd call it intelligent mum porn. Now we've got to find you. We've got the cbdsociety.com.au. BCD. I'm thinking of my office. I've just changed in Melbourne CBD at the moment, and that's been interesting. So the bcsociety.com.au, and is this findable on Amazon?
Yes,
yep, it is. So if you just Google if you go into Amazon it, you'll find it, and it's got this front cover with the red wax seal on it, and there's a lady, sort of hidden in behind the door there, but revealing just enough. So it's definitely not something to read to your children. But certainly it's something that might help you create more of them. Thank you for coming on there, KGB from Russia with Love, and Australia, in fact. Now we've also got Francis Bevan joining us. He's on the phone. Are you there, Francis?
Certainly am, Jacqueline. Awesome to catch up with you.
It's wonderful to hear from you again. You've been off air a little while doing a few things there. But it's absolutely wonderful to have you back, and you're joining us next week on air.
Yes, I'm certainly looking forward to actually joining you and connecting with the listeners, and it's been quite some time since we've been on air together, but I'm thinking it's just going to be awesome.
Fantastic. Now you're back on Psychic TV, is it?
Could you repeat that, please?
Yeah, are you back on? Are you back on air with Psychic TV again on the Australian television?
Yeah, yes, I am. I'm actually back on. It's actually on Aurora. It's also on actually YouTube and Facebook. With YouTube, all you have to enter is Psychic TV Australia, and you will be able to watch the back episodes as well.
Brilliant. And so we're going to have you on.
Actually, Psychic TV is actually only on Saturday night, and it actually runs from 8:30 to 11:30.
Brilliant. That's fantastic, Francis. So have you been getting around Australia a bit again?
And I've been doing quite a lot of tours around Australia. I'm looking forward to coming down to Melbourne to do the Melbourne MBS, that's the Mind Body Spirit Expo, where I'm going to hopefully be able to catch up with you as well.
Absolutely, we'll have to do that live and in person. So yeah, it's going to be really good to catch up with you there, Francis. So yeah, really good. So we're going to have Francis live on Psychic Radio with us on Soulstar Radio, on the A1R Psychic Radio Network and Moonstruck TV network next week. So Australian time, that's going to be 10 a.m. Friday, and on American Eastern, it's going to be US 8 p.m. So if we're talking American Eastern, it's 8 p.m. Thursday. So that's when we catch Francis on air with us. So I'm really looking forward to catching up with him then. Now I'm just also going to quickly do a reading for Nazanin, who wrote in. And thank you so much for writing in there, Nazanin. And you can also write into the show, Soulstar Radio. You can find us soulstar.media, or go to the Facebook page, Soulstar Radio with Jacquelene. So you should be able to find us there. In the meantime, Nazanin, what I really got from you is you're definitely a fighter. You're a very strong spirit. You've got a lot of love to give, but you can find it pretty difficult to, feel the, I guess, the greater sense of connection with people. But you're finding that at this stage of your life, you're really connected into the spiritual energies quite strongly. I understand you're feeling a disconnect with the world, and wanting to get more in touch with your sense of purpose. And I feel that this next 2 years, 2020 and 2021, will really drive you forward. It's going to put you through a lot of self-discovery. It's going to be a lot of growth. Growth is not always necessarily comfortable, and you certainly know that one because you've been through a lot of it. But when you're sort of asking, will the next decade be like the last one? No, I don't think it will be. It's going to be quite different. The card that I got for you, Nazanin, was actually Sandolphin. And I know you don't like fluffy, funny, soft things that are just really, a bit sort of oracle-ish. But what I've got here is the angel Sandolphin, and it's got the word power at the bottom of it. And really, for you, it's about getting more in touch with your sense of power. You are a very strong person. You do give people a lot of hope and a lot of help. And the other card in the actual tarot was actually the Magician that I got as well. And so it's about you putting mind above matter a lot of the time. I mean, you're doing that already, but it's like you're going to change the way you're thinking about things and change the way that you're acting and responding rather than reacting. And there has been a lot of fight or flight sort of stuff going on in your nervous system over time, but it does feel like you're getting that more under control. And there's something called T&J resetting that would be good for you to Google. And that's offered around the world as well, and I understand you're in Melbourne. The thing is, I feel you're going to get incredibly connected over these next few years, despite the way you're feeling at the moment. It is going to take a lot more work on that continued sense of working on your meditation, your psychic development, things like that. But also I'm really picking up that whole energy of the warrior in you, and sometimes the worrier. So the warrior and the warrior, two very different things, and having to kind of come to more a sense of peace within yourself. And even if the world seems crazy, and sometimes frankly it is, if we're not always pouring out that energy and always empathising so completely with the world and to the point of not having our own energy, if we're instead pulling that energy back and going, okay, well, I'm going to just look after the energy within me. I'm going to sit and hold this space for me, and I'm going to take this one breath at a time and one step at a time, even though not everything else around me makes a lot of sense. then that will help you a lot more. You are very sensitive to energy, and I think I've said it a couple of times. Next year, 2020, is quite full on because 2020, it's the Emperor card in the tarot. This year, 2019, has been the Empress. So next year, being a 4-year, 2020 comes to that Emperor card. It also relates to Aries quite strongly. And from June, July until December 2020, we've got a lot of movement with Mars going on. And for you, being that your life path number also is 4, there'll be a lot of change there. And it can feel a bit cataclysmic, but it is going to be about, taking this one breath and one step at a time this year, and then you'll find that by July next year, you've got a lot more energy and momentum to just push things forward, and you won't be continuing to be held back, is what I really get from that. The main message as well is really to nurture yourself at the moment. It's going to be a journey of finding more faith within yourself here, and I think really bringing out that wisdom. It is a card that's come up here is all about literally wisdom, and I'm just pulling that card back. There we go. The fun of live TV, hey? So, it's going to be really, I think, quite intense at times, but in a better way than it has been. Certainly in a more, when you get a massage and the massage therapist knows what they're doing and you get, it's this, pain, good pain. It's really something. Whereas if the massage therapist is not actually a massage therapist and maybe is, not trained, then you can get pain that's like, it's not actually making you feel better. That's bad pain. What I'm seeing 2020 for you as is having good pain, followed by release, and the ability for you to then actually really enjoy life a whole lot better. So just take this one step at a time. Give yourself the time and space that you need, to address things as you go, and it's going to get a lot easier for you as you go along. And I'll be sending you further information privately by email to respond to you. I'll send the podcast of the show. Now, when we're dealing with the dysfunction in relationships as well and the dysfunction in family, the thing there is to understand that, what happened then is not our fault, and what we're doing about it now is up to us. And the thing is that sometimes we can be put on earth and we can be coming to a family and going, oh my God, what is that? And it's like, okay, deep breath. All right, I am not this. I have come from this, but I am not this. This is not going to define me. And the thing to do is, when you do the healing yourself, you can find that sets you apart from the family. It can mean that you don't continue to revolve around the same people. And the thing is that if you ever feel that, look, you know what, I'm done, I can't keep going back there. I've tried everything to heal and resolve and work out with that person or those people, but I actually can't stay here and honour myself. So if anyone watching gets to that point with even family, and I know that New Agers love to go, you should make friends with your family. You never know when they're gone. Sometimes that can be a good thing because you might actually, for your own sanity's sake, need to have that space away from people, and it's okay if you do that. And if you're sitting there and someone's saying to you, look, I actually can't have contact with these particular people, instead of jumping to the conclusion of the Brady Bunch where everyone gets along at the end of half an hour no matter what happened during the middle of that show, maybe take a deep breath and stop and say to yourself, is this person usually reasonable? Because if they are, I might just say, you know what, I'm okay, I'm here for you, without saying you should. The best thing you can do is sit and listen rather than you should or try to fix. So that's just something I wanted to end that with, and I'm going to come back again. So thank you, KGB, for joining me on air today with your wonderful book. I'll be sending the links, and there'll be podcast up, and I'm going to put a post up later on Soulstar Radio so you can find her book and connect in with us. I'll send the Amazon links and everything. So thank you for joining me on the show. And thank you also, shout out to Francis Bevan, who'll be with us next week. And thank you everyone for watching and listening. See you next time. Same time, same back channel. Bye.